a tank. My beat up car ain't no Corvette. Nah, 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 but I'm set. I got a bunch of crazy friends.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Beers with a Band. I'm your host, and you were just listening to the song We Good by Miss Brittany Elise. She is a Nashville-based singer, songwriter, and country artist. So, Brittany, if you'll tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're sipping on, I am going to talk about this beautiful beer right here.
Thanks so much for having me. I am a singer-songwriter artist. I'm actually from Australia, but yeah, living here in Nashville. Today I brought with me a White Claw grape flavor. So that's something that I'm going to be working on. And yeah, I've been singing since I was 7 years old and loving every component of, I grew up in the country in regional Australia. So very much the Great Barrier Reef area, snorkel, all those things. So I feel like this drink was most appropriate for that. It matches a lot of our cool vibes. But yeah.
All right, while you're pouring that in a glass, I'm going to introduce this beauty right here. This is a 2025 Goose Island, Bourbon County Stout. This is a 10-ounce bottle, thank God, because the bigger bottles I seem to have a problem with, and I definitely don't want to drink one in this interview, but this is a 14.8% ABV Imperial Stout.
How does it smell?
Man, I'm getting plenty of bourbon, of course. I'm getting plenty of vanilla.
Love vanilla.
Chocolate, coffee. What a milk chocolate. There's something else. Maple syrup.
Oh.
Yes. All right. Well, I poured you just a taste. See what you think. Just smell it and see what you think.
Oh. Do you know what I will tell you? This has a hint of Vegemite from Australia as well, which is one of our spreads that we put on toast and bread. I can smell all the things you're saying. I like that. That intrigues me.
Yeah. Well, but you can either sip it now or before you leave, you can sip it.
Yeah. Can I sip it now?
Yeah, sure.
Let me try it. Oh, I quite like that. Is there a little bit of a slight licorice? Australian licorice, maybe. I actually really like that. That is good. If anyone else hasn't tried that, they should go and check that out. What's your thoughts?
I'm going to tell you, I love this beer. Everything about this beer, I enjoy. I mean, I've been waiting for, I've been waiting for this to come out since last year. It has everything that I said it had in the aroma. All that just shines through beautifully. Nothing overwhelms anything else. And based on the high ABV, it has a real creamy, good body to it. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. It's right where I want it to be.
Yeah.
It finishes clean. Now, it's warm.
Yeah.
It's warm all the way down.
Yeah.
It's warm all the way down. But I'm telling you, I've been waiting to drink this beer. I've had this beer for 2.5 weeks, and I knew I had you coming in. I was like, man,
that's the one.
I'm gonna break this out.
I feel like I might need to go get some and take some with me. It has a beautiful, as you said, like a smooth aftertaste. Yep. Like it's almost non-existent, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Just a little lingering taste.
Yeah, just all the hints of all the goodness is what the aftertaste is. There's no real hoppiness. There's no bitterness. I mean, it's just, if you know, you know. That's all I got to say about this beer. So,
and if you don't know, go and try it.
If you
and
don't,
then you'll know.
If you don't know, you need to know. Again, this is the Goose Island Bourbon County 2025 edition in a 10-ounce bottle. If you've never had this before, get the 10-ounce bottle. Trust me, that's all you need. That's all you want. Well, I want more, but that's all I need. We'll do that. So, all right. While we're enjoying the beer, my first question is, who is Brittany Elise?
Brittany Elise, well, she is a small town girl that grew up, as I was saying. My dad was in the coal world as a coal miner, and then my mom was a travel agent. So if you want to mix both of those worlds together, you'll get a lot of travel and you'll get a lot of activities out of people in our family. So I started music at the age of 7. I grew up singing and performing on stages. My sister actually was a country singer first, and I used to go along to the talent quests, which are really popular in Queensland, in Australia, and I used to just sleep under the table, is what they used to say, just as a little one, as the younger sister. And one of the organizers came up to my mom and said, hey, I think you should put Brittany, like, just in the little, we used to call like the juvenile peewee section, like the little people section, under 7 or under 8, something like that. And I went in it that year and sang, I can't even remember that. I think it was Some Days You Gotta Dance from the Dixie Chicks or something like that, and or from the Chicks. And I won the encouragement award that year. And they say the rest is history. And from that, I continued to perform. I was actually really high up in the sport world too. So I played a lot of state and national level sports. I've represented Australia for sport. And it was so funny growing up. I used to go and sing our national anthem in the middle of the field or the pitch or whatever sport I was playing. And then I'd quickly go and get changed and put my uniform on and then run back out to the field and play. And so that was kind of my world for a long time, growing up. And so music was always a part of my life, but obviously sport as well, to the point that, I was representing Australia all the way up until I was 20 for sport. And I had this rare injury where I had to learn to walk again. They didn't even know if I was going to walk again. My story was the first success story. And so from there, let's just say we had a really great album to write about resilience and all the things. And one of my songs called Hi, It's Me was the whole concept of I was never going to give up, and I was revamping into my music career. So I really found a new love for music when that injury happened when I was 21. And so, from there, I toured the full Australian market. That's what I've been doing for years, the full festival market, and then decided to move to the United States, and in particular, my favorite whole city in the world, which is Nashville. So I've moved across here, and I've been building my career and playing so many shows here in the United States as well, whilst also going back to Australia when I can to tour. So that's kind of my story so far in a very small, quick element.
How would you describe your music to someone who has never heard it before?
Yeah, totally. I feel like every song is different, firstly. But I love feel good. I love high energy shows, and then songs that tell a real story. So I think for me, and then country music is how I grew up. So in that country feel good, every song to me, I love to have as much kind of ear candy or earworms as you can. Like hooks on hooks is how we love to write. It's like, how many hooks can we put in a song that captures the attention of a listener? So if you're heading out there to go listen to a song, see if we did any good on that. But so I'm a country artist with pop elements, with really a real story at the forefront of that. How
did your upbringing influence your music?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm a massive family person. I've grown up in such a supportive family. So when you hear my early records in particular, family and home are very much the essence of those things. And then being a small town girl, a lot of that comes into play. But I feel like it's just real life experiences. All my songs are based on either real life stories that I've heard or I've experienced. Another chapter to my story is actually that I used to be a high school teacher. And so I used to teach sport, I used to teach music, I used to teach drama, mathematics, and science, all the subjects, I guess, of high school students. So like 7th grade through to the 12th grade. So some of my songs are their stories too, and like the people that have impacted me along the way.
Is there an album or song that inspired you to pursue music in the way that you have?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's funny, each chapter of my life has been a different record, or it's been a different element of my performing. More later life, I mean, Laney Wilson has been such an inspiration to my career, especially in terms of performing. But going right back, we used to do road trips with like Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Dolly Parton, and I still can distinctly, sometimes there's a childhood memory that you'll just never forget. And mine is in Australia, where we're from, there's a lot of distance between different cities. And so we used to do a lot of road trips as a family. And so I'll always distinctly remember all of those traditional, original country artists that we used to play in the car with my dad and with the windows down. And we have another artist called Slim Dusty, who's our traditional country artist in Australia. And so he's in that bracket as well.
Do you think Laney Wilson would enjoy your music?
I would hope so. I think something that I love about Laney is that she is such an authentic artist. She's an authentic songwriter. And I feel like she would like any music that is portrayed through. So like if you can look at an artist and go, they're being authentically themselves, their songs are real or coming from a good place, I think that she would be a massive supporter of that. So we'll have to find out.
Right. Well, as someone who's made several videos and someone that says each song comes from the heart, watching those videos, is that how you portray yourself in those videos?
Yeah, totally. And I feel like every song has a different emotion. So as long as we try and capture the video and the song to match each other. So you'll notice when we were talking a bit earlier about high energy, that's something that we really try to bring to all the videos that match that song.
Right.
But yeah.
If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
To be honest, I can't imagine anything else. It's so funny. Like every time that I think about something else, it somehow ends up back in the music world. I mean, I do love event coordinating as well. So maybe something in that world, in the business world of that. But yeah, it's as long as I'm helping people, because that's a big thing. I do a lot of charity work as well. And as long as music and kind of that event coordination, if they can all kind of combine, which music it does, we're our own event coordinator, we run our own business, that type of thing, then yeah, I'm living my best life.
What has 2025 been like for you?
It's been incredible. I mean, I've officially moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and I left absolutely everything that I know, all my family, my friends, and everything that I'd built so far to really start at the bottom and build up again. And I had goals for the year, but when you're then looking back on those goals and going, wow, these things I could have never predicted, the artists that I've been in rooms with and know my name, I've had a lot to do with the Grand Ole Opry in 2025. The listening room as a songwriter space here in Nashville has been one of my bucket list items since I've been coming back and forth from Nashville. I think my first trip to Nashville was when I was 12 years old. And I ticked the bucket list of playing at the listening room in 2025. being a part of the Bluebird Cafe, all of these things. And then also being, in terms of songwriting, I had dreams and aspirations of, how many songs I'd write in 2025 or who I'd hopefully get to write with. And all of the above have exceeded that numerical value that I put when I was sitting in the hot Christmas of Australia in 2024, about to hit 2025. So I'm really excited for 26 as well, and how the goals that will be set for that, how they'll pan out, and then how we can exceed them as well.
How often before you moved to Nashville, back and forth, how often would you come to Nashville and either play or write or just come and observe the music industry?
Yeah, so my first trip was when I was 12 years old. My second trip was more when I was about 19 or 20. Then I came back again in my mid-20s. I was moving to Nashville in 2020. We'll leave that one there as to why that didn't happen. And then I've been coming back and forth now for 3 years working on my visa to move here permanently from Australia. And then obviously permanently I moved in March of 2025. So I've been coming back and forth and staying in touch with as many people as I could in that time. I mean, the one thing that I love about Nashville, other than the music, but this is outside the music industry as well, is how welcoming people are and how they'll give you, we say, the shirt off their back in Australia. And just some of the best people I've ever met in my life, I've met in this city in the last 3 years. And I've met some incredible people in my lifetime. So I think that describes Nashville through and through. Like, it's an amazing city, but it's the people that make that city so amazing to me.
I appreciate you saying that, because I have felt that way my entire life about this city. Mm-hmm. That's part of the reason I'm still here. Yeah. I couldn't see myself anywhere else. Now, you have seen the changes in this city. Personally, I don't like them, but that's just me. I don't like change, so I'm really not liking what's going on around here. But the good and the bad come with change, and the good is the number of people who have moved here from all over the world, not just the U.S., but the traditions that they bring, the food that they bring, the music that they bring, just the art, the different styles of art that they bring, just make this town such a unique place. But of course, being born and raised here, I don't see it the way you do. Mm-hmm. But I do appreciate you saying that about the city. And I'm going to say my city because
yes,
I was born and raised here, but they call me a unicorn because there's not that many of us left in town. We're fighting hard to stay here, trust me. Did you learn anything about yourself or about your music over the last year?
Absolutely. My favorite quote is, plant yourself where you want to grow. And I feel like each chapter, each year, whatever that looks like for you, you think that you know certain things in your life. But I feel like for me, I really found myself when I moved here to Nashville, Tennessee. And I already had a good understanding of that. But being around like-minded people all the time, doing what I love all the time. And Australia's got an amazing music industry. It's got amazing artists, but we're so spread out. So that's something so unique about Nashville in particular, is that we're all in the same town, helping each other, pushing each other through goals and trying to make the roof higher, basically. Push your goals higher than what you thought you could do. And I feel through that, so the network that I've built here, as well as I have to back myself 1,000%, seeing as how I moved so far across the world. So from those two things, I feel like I learnt so much about myself, just what I'm capable of, how much hard work I'm prepared to actually put in to this dream. And yeah, just what balance looks like as well. I feel like I've done a really good job of that this year. I'm a massive water person, so I've been out on the boats in summer as well.
I'm a huge kayak fan myself, and every chance I get to put my boat in the water, even if it's a small pond that goes from here to there and back, I'll just sit in the boat in the water and have a few beers and just relax.
Yeah.
That seems to be about the only place I can relax is when I'm on the water.
I love that too. And that's very Australian. You should come and visit.
You know what? I have several friends that have visited Australia, and they love it. They absolutely love it. And one of my friends, that's the only place she ever goes anymore on vacation is Australia. And she says, if I ever could, I would love to move to Australia. And I thought that's interesting, but it must be a beautiful place.
It really is. It's, I personally have traveled a fair bit in my lifetime, but there's nothing like Australia. It's, I mean, everyone's got their individual things, but it's, really down to earth, like-minded people with the beauty of water everywhere, pretty much. So, I mean, for me, that's the dream.
Right.
Yeah. Just minus the full country music in every town, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of your goals for 2026?
So I've definitely got my eyes on the Grand Ole Opry. Stay tuned. You might have to come if that happens.
Okay.
Yeah. But also I'm looking at releasing my next album in 2026. So there'll be a lot of things that come with that, including a bigger, broader tour. I haven't had a chance to hit a lot of the United States, obviously, only moving in March. A lot of that includes setting up my lifestyle. So those three are going to be huge in 2026 and part of the goals as we move forward.
What have you done to possibly be able to play the Grand Ole Opry? I mean, there is a process for being able to do that. There
is. And I think, firstly, it stems from what hard work you're putting in. So it starts with the songs. It starts with the relationships that you're building in the natural community, not just with people in general. And then also how much you advance your own career as well. So whether that's setting up tours or whether that's PR and publicity and meeting radio people or marketing teams and all those things. So I've been trying to put all the pieces of building my brand to the next level in place I've been working on that now in reference to Nashville, the last 3 years. And so we're just building that to be another layer to the Brittany Elise story, which I think is all of those things combined and the Grand Ole Opry is just so prestigious that it's like some of my ultimate with Jeannie Seeley. Unfortunately, she's just passed in 2025, but being a founder for women on the Grand Ole Opry and in general as an artist. Patsy Cline, I used to sing as a little young girl, some of my first songs, and I actually performed in 2024 for her crazy Patsy Cline documentary premiere with her family present. So full circle moment of a song I used to sing when I was 10 to now being in a room with Patsy Cline's family. And some of these women in particular have set goals and pathways for women. So I'm just really looking forward to continuing that and seeing how far we can take it for both men and women.
Do you think building a brand is important for an indie artist?
Absolutely. I think it's an essential element for anyone because at the end of the day, our music industry, there'll be some songs that are out in the world that we will never, ever hear.
Right.
Because they're being written in a bedroom and potentially just never put out because maybe someone's too scared or it's finance, whatever it is. At the essence of that is building a really strong business to be able to sustain this as a business versus a hobby versus just enjoyment. And so I think that a brand it also tells our viewers or our listeners in whichever capacity that they're listening to our music that this is who I am. And I think that's really important too. And that's actually a goal of 2026 is how much more of my brand and me as Brittany Elise can I portray to my fans and to my listeners to let them in. Because at the end of the day, that's what this whole journey is. Might be my story, but it's also their story. And that's how I write my songs.
Speaking of unfinished songs, how many unfinished songs do you have?
Oh, that number would be so unknown. It's so funny. Like I'll be driving and be like, oh my God, this is a great idea. And I want to quickly sing it in my phone or pull over and write it down, whatever it is. That would be by far in the thousands, easily.
Do you go back and revisit any of those songs from time to time?
Absolutely. I think even with the new record that we're literally looking at right now, we've got some favorites that maybe have been newly written, but I always go back to what we call work tapes. So as I finish a song, especially even if it's a half finished song, I'll do like a little work tape, whether it's like a voice memo or a demo that's with more production. And I will consider everything because it's like if that's the essence of the album or the chapter in which I'm trying to tell, then maybe that song will be finished and then put on the record. So, yeah, I definitely revisit songs all the time. And then you pleasantly surprise yourself. Sometimes a song that I wrote 10 years ago will make this next record.
Well, I've heard artists say that they have gone back and revisited certain songs numerous times.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was, one artist said that he had songs that were finished and they're ready to go, produced, just the whole thing. But the albums that he was putting out, the songs didn't match the album, the theme that he had going, and he just shelved them. And I was thinking, man, you're shelving art.
Yeah.
Is there going to be an album you put out that you just put these songs on? I mean, you have them ready to go. Just make some sort of album that doesn't really have a theme, but make sure you get that music out there.
Yeah. I think that was actually one of my goals of 2025. So this is the most songs I've ever released in a year without releasing an album. And I think that I've just released my 7th song. And so that was, they say maybe just release 3 or 4 in a year and keep that going. But I'm the exact same way. I'm like, well, if I've had this song and I really want listeners to hear it, the only way that that's possible is by putting the song out. And so that's what we're doing. And also for the record, if potentially it doesn't match the brand, I still want listeners to hear the song. So they might become bonus songs or they might become, like in different ways, all the songs are going out. So, yeah, we're excited to see what that looks like anyway.
What is the biggest hurdle you've had to overcome in music?
I think it was, it's the sustainability of the brand and the music in an industry that is evolving continuously. Whether it's, and all elements are good and bad. Like there's good and bad elements to everything. When we moved from physical album sales, I was probably coming out of my younger years. So I kind of missed that opportunity of all the hard copy albums. Even though my people still buy them, there's kind of not many places you can play them.
Right.
So moving out of that, but that was a massive financial stability for artists in the generations prior to me. So now we're also working out the streaming elements and what that looks like for our music, and then all the different things of executing a tour. And so being able to take the band on the road and knowing everybody's going through financial hardship, really, across the board. It's a bit of a different era with prices skyrocketing across the board. So it's unfortunate that sometimes music takes the hit for that, or like artists maybe get paid a lower fee to do that, which then impacts us as a tour.
Right. So
to be able to survive that financially. But yeah, I think it's just navigating the ever evolving music industry. And as I said, it's good and bad, in like elements to everything. Social media, some may not love it, but then also for me, I have met so many people have found my music, or I've been able to get my music to people across the world that never would have found it if it wasn't for social media. And almost in the same way, that level for streaming as well. They might have a For You page where my song or my video pops onto their page and says, hey, you might be interested in Brittany Elise. And so then now I've got a new fan in Canada and I'm still living in the Great Barrier Reef of Australia. You know what I mean? Those type of things.
How have you as a person or an artist and your sound evolved over the years?
Yeah, totally. It was actually so funny. I had a fan come to a show like this year, like in the last 3 months, that saw me probably 6-7 years ago. And they were like, wow, your voice has changed, which is interesting because it's a muscle. So the more you use it, the better it gets, I guess. Well, it develops, right? And so I feel like with that comes confidence. It comes a tone change. It becomes even more authentic in what you want to sound like and what stories you want to tell. So I feel like for me, I've just evolved within myself, which has then evolved into my performing and my songwriting and my songs.
How does being Australian affect your music?
I think in terms of the word affect, I feel like Australian is authentically me. That is where I was born and raised and all the cultures I know. And I mean, Americans have been, like here in the USA, Australians have a positive relationship. We're almost, I think they say sister brother country. And so I feel like for me, it's actually been an asset since moving here because I'm already authentically me, but also different to potentially what someone has just heard before me. So I feel like it's impacted me in terms of what I write about. I mean, there's red dirt an hour from my house, meaning outback, meaning kangaroos, meaning all the things. But I also spent 5 years when I moved to college in the big city. So I've kind of had all the different worlds and then now traveling and living overseas. So I feel like Australia just grounded me, taught me the essence of life and being a good person. And then from that, I've just explored my music career as much as I can.
You have said, I always say a career is a lifetime apprenticeship, but I would never wish for it any other way. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Yeah, so they say that, you know, when you just learn something and you might graduate, do you say apprentices here in the state?
Yes.
Yeah, and so like you not graduate, but you finish maybe 4 years of training or something like that.
Your apprenticeship, you finish that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you move into like what they call, I guess, full-time work out of the apprenticeship label. But I always say that in music, you are constantly learning. You are constantly trying to learn the industry and I guess what's working and what's not working and all of those things. But it's funny, you probably don't really get out of the apprenticeship phase. And even if you ask someone like Laney Wilson or Ella Langley, who's absolutely doing so well at the moment, they're constantly learning too. Like even though they have made it in what we think is what that world looks like, they are constantly learning. And I feel like that's what that sentence, it's like you're constantly learning, you're constantly trying to keep up with what's changing, but you maybe never fully feel like you've made it because you're constantly learning, which is the best part of the arts as well.
What is it like being an indie artist that does all the work from writing, recording, social media, booking venues, booking tours, just, I mean, you do it all.
Yeah.
But what is it like for someone that does everything?
Yeah, it's definitely a full-time job, just doing all of those things. I mean, one of those elements is a full-time job, but I love it because, as I said, they say plant yourself where you want to grow. And for me, I love being across all the elements. I love learning new skills. So if I can learn a skill and then apply it to my own business or my own brand, my own music career, I'll do it because I am such a learner. I love to listen. I love to take advice from other people and then work it out and then see how it applies to my business and my career. And so, I don't know, some people might say I'm crazy, but I also just love it. Like I love planning the tours and then being able to execute it. A little bit in that event coordinator role that I was saying earlier, if I changed my jobs, that is the event coordinator part. And then I write my own press releases for PR and publicity. That's my teacher world from the past, and being able to write really well and do assignments and all the things for that. That's that world and that skill that I learned. And so I guess for me, it's super exciting when it's executed. So when I can keep control of all of those elements and learn them, and obviously I have so many team members too, anything that I'm like, that's not my specialty, I will get someone in to help with that. But yeah, I honestly just love it. And I think that, I've planned and executed 3 Australian tours, upwards of 25 shows each. And that's right down to being the travel agent. So doing the accommodation and the flights and all the things, or the hire car or whatever it looks like for myself and my band. And then making every show line up to be logistically correct as well. So yeah, I don't know. I just love it.
How many people are in your full-time band?
Full-time, we have 4. When we get our specialty shows, we can have up to 6. And sometimes I like to strip it back and just have myself, depending on the show, or a duo as well, like where it's just the 2 of us.
So when I saw you in Donaldson at the Beer, Wine, and Shine Festival, was that your full-time band?
That's some of my band members that I've met since being here in Nashville. I mean, my tours back in Australia were all my Australian musicians. But yeah, I've been meeting and growing my industry talented friends here in the United States all throughout the year. So those 3 are definitely often play with me. Yeah.
What is your favorite subject to write about?
To write about?
Yeah.
I think that would honestly be home. I don't know. It's just anything that links to authentically me. So being myself, being at home, the people that make you feel like you're at home, that type of thing. That's probably my favorite topic to write about. Or something that's just feel good. So if you were to turn it on, you want to dance in your kitchen, that type of vibe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to do this, but we are up against the clock for this interview. Man, Brittany Elise came in so short notice, and she's given me an hour. She's given me over an hour's worth of content, but I have so many questions. But, man, she has got a full schedule. So I'm not, at least this time, going to be able to get to all these questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let her talk to you about the drink she brought. And then once she talks about that, I'm going to hit her with the last question.
Yeah, so this White Claw, the grape flavor. I've actually never had the grape flavored before, to be honest.
Really?
But no.
So it's the first time.
I didn't actually even know the grape flavor existed, but I'm one to try new things. And so far, I haven't actually been disappointed. So the smell, 1, it smells like grape. So that's a great start. But 2, it's actually got this beautiful, refreshing aroma. So yes, it smells like grape, but do you know what it smells like? It smells like summer. That's what it smells like. It reminds me of summer. There's a slight little bubbliness to it, which I don't mind because it's got that seltzer kind of flavoring to it. Spiked sparkling water is how they refer to a White Claw. So, I can even hear the little fizzle behind it. But yes, really refreshing.
Drum roll, please.
And I'm actually going to rank this one. This is actually one of my drinks of choice.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to give it a solid 8.5 or 9 out of 10. So if anyone else has that, this one is what I love. The White Claw grape flavor.
Okay. All right. So next time, why don't you bring another White Claw that you've never had?
Okay, I love that.
Is there another one out there?
I will definitely find one for this.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save one or two of these back. And after the interview next time, we'll go ahead and get a bottle or two of that.
I love that. I love that.
All right.
We'll book that in.
Before you go.
Yes.
And I know you're busy. I always finish my interviews by asking my artists, what are 2 questions you've never been asked in an interview that you wish someone would ask?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the answers to those questions?
Oh, that's a good one. Something I'm surprised people never ask, and I'm interested, is why do artists, knowing sometimes it's a financial hit, like we're putting a lot more money into it than maybe we receive back, why do we actually do what we do? Like, they know we love music, but why do we actually do what we do? And I think for me, just to answer that question, is that for a musician, there is something inside of you, like a fire, that just can't go out. And it's crazy. They say get a real day job and earn the money and do all the things. And it's funny, like you just can't do it. And for me, I think the most important thing are my people, like the people I meet along the way, whether it's through the media component, but on tour, when someone comes up to you and says, hey, that song, which I may have written about from this topic, they say, hey, that actually saved my life. And I had this at a show one time where a grown man came up, a song that I wrote just about following my music career. And he came up to me in tears and said, that song saved my life. And you reminded me why I do what I do. And so I think for me, that's kind of a cool question of why, like the honest answer of why people do it. Because, people might talk about some of the negative components as well. And the changes in the music industry. But that's my first one, I think, would be that.
So your music heals your fans and heals other people. Does your music heal you?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, as we were saying a little earlier, I write my songs from an authentic place. So when you hear songs about mental health, that may have not been me, but I've been affected by it through my family and friends. It has been a song called Girl in the Mirror, was a moment in time where I actually was so close to quitting music. I was so close. I don't think I would have been able to maintain it, but the only person that really believed in me in that moment when it was all getting really hard was my mum. And she could see the girl in the mirror that, like, it was like we were both looking at the same girl in the mirror, but we were seeing different things. And so that that could be almost one of my favorite songs. That could actually be my second question. People say, what is your favorite cover song we've often had as an artist? But what is your favorite song as a songwriter? Like, not just to perform, what is your favorite song as a songwriter and why? And I think for me, that would be Girl in the Mirror. I just answered my question before asking the question, but yeah, it's authentically probably a low moment in my music career for me personally, but also my most authentic lyric writing came from Girl in the Mirror with my mom and how she would never give up even if I tried.
All right. Well, where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to follow the music career or the journey across multiple countries, it's a bit of a fun time. Show you some Australian beaches at the same time. It's Brittany Elise Music. So we have that on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. There's so many components now. Or BrittanyElisemusic.com is my website, as well as streaming opportunities with Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. There's so many options now, Tidal, Deezer. So yeah, we'd love to have as many and people follow along. And if you do jump across from watching this, make sure you let me know. We might see what we've got in store for your people.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making it to this part of the video. If you enjoyed this video, if you'll leave me a thumbs up and a comment below. If you didn't enjoy the video, if you'll leave me a comment and let me know why. And if you would like me to ask Miss Brittany Elise a question, if you'll comment below, and next time when I can nail her down for a little bit longer than just 1 hour, maybe I'll get that question asked. All right. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Between